Welcome to Lesson 5 of Unit 7, Sun and Moon. In this lesson, students will answer the question, how do the hours of sunlight differ in the summer and winter? Students use unifix cubes to represent the amount of sunlight during the winter and summer. They figure out that Earth's revolution around the sun is the reason we experience seasons, and that seasons are another cycle, like day and night. They also figure out that in the northern hemisphere there are more daylight hours in the summer and fewer hours in the nighttime. In the Engage, ask students if they think there are always 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness. Ask what evidence they have to support their opinion. Give them time to talk about their experiences as evidence of this pattern. In the Explore, use months of the year cards to demonstrate a pattern or cycle. Start with January and go through each month. When you get to December, review with students that now we go back to January. It's a cycle. Review the days of the week indicating that these are a cycle as well. Next, set the months of the year cards either on the floor around the sun balloon or tape them to the walls of the classroom in a counterclockwise fashion. Then put down the seasons cards or tape them in the appropriate spots. For example, the spring card should be with March, April, May, and June. Then have the students make a circle around the sun. Remind the students that when they rotated in place around the sun, this made day and night. This time they are going to revolve or walk around the sun. The Earth takes 365 days or 12 months to go around the sun. Have the students walk counterclockwise around the sun, calling out the months as they go. It is important to note that the months of the year card will be used again in the Explain portion of the lesson. We suggest leaving them taped to the walls if possible. For this activity, you will need 30 small beads and a package of pipe cleaners. Students will be creating a bracelet to model rotation and revolution, or a day and a year. For this model, the pipe cleaner shows the orbit or path of the bead around their wrist. The bead represents Earth and their wrist represents the sun. Demonstrate how to thread the bead on a pipe cleaner and twist off the ends to make a bracelet. Have students put on the bracelet saying that their wrist is like the sun. Then have them rotate the bead around the pipe cleaner saying that this is a day. One rotation of the bead on the pipe cleaner is a day. Then have them move the whole bracelet around their wrist saying that this is called a revolution. The Earth revolves around the sun like the bracelet revolves around your wrist. In the Explain, students will participate in an activity to observe the change in the length of daylight hours. In this activity, you will need 12 months of the year cards, 1 Earth globe, and 1 flashlight with batteries. The goal of this activity is to show students that the Earth is on a tilt, causing the daylight hours to be shorter in the winter and longer in the summer. Spread the months of the year cards out around the room in order, placed on the floor or taped to the wall. Have a student hold the flashlight representing the sun and shine it on the tilted Earth. Stand by the June month and tilt the Earth toward the sun, saying this is summer. Then walk to December and tilt the Earth away from the sun flashlight. Tell them that this is winter. Explain to students that when the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun's rays are less direct, and the daylight hours are shorter. The northern hemisphere, including the United States, experiences winter. Demonstrate this by shining the flashlight on the globe. After this demonstration, show the diagram Summer Light on Teacher page 21. Explain to students that the Earth is tilted on its axis just like the picture shows. When the northern hemisphere is tilted toward the sun, we have summer. Then show the 4 seasons video. For this activity, you will need 24 black unifix cubes, 24 yellow unifix cubes, and the 12 months of the year cards. The goal of this activity is for students to observe how the hours of daylight changes with the seasons. Choose 2 students, one with a summer birthday and another with a winter birthday. Ask the class who they think has more hours of sunlight on their birthday. Then take a tally. Ask students, did you know that there is a pattern we can observe that shows how the daylight changes? Using the cards of the months of the year, divide the class into 12 groups and give each group 1 month. Then pour all of the black and yellow cubes into one big pile. Ask each group to build a tower for their month using the numbers in the table below, with the yellow cubes representing the daylight hours and the black cubes representing the night. A tutorial video of this activity is available in the curriculum guide. Have the students build their towers and then line them up starting with December. Ask them about the pattern that they can notice. Do they see how it's like steps or a ladder? Can they predict if the yellow stack is going to get larger or smaller? For the Elaborate, copy day and night worksheet on teacher page 22, one for each member of your class plus 10 extra. If there are multiple students with the same birthday months, you will need multiple copies. Using the Unifix cube graph the class made, the students should count and cut out that many suns, representing the yellow daylight hours, and moons, representing the night hours. Then they can glue or tape them in a long line and compare with a friend. In the Evaluate, have the students complete the hours of daylight in a year graph on student page 7, adding the seasons under the months. A guide for this page is provided on teacher page 23. After students complete the graph, have students use it to describe the seasonal pattern of daylight hours. Ask students, what have we figured out so far about how people can keep track of what day and time it is, even if they don't have a clock or a calendar? How does this apply to your birthday? By the end of this lesson, students will use a globe to demonstrate that Earth is on a tilt, compare the amount of daylight in different seasons, make a graph of the amount of daylight throughout the year, and use observations of the sun, moon, and stars to describe patterns that can be predicted.